Good morning. Good morning from Minneapolis. I flew in here last night and I'm here less than 24 hours. Um, but I'm here and I got to see my daughter. And that is super helpful to get to see the people you love and to hug them. And I love so many people, but particularly grateful to just spend an evening visiting with my daughter for, well, not even an evening. I got in last night and I head out in about half an hour for a Vistage meeting where I get to sit in on my first as a member of Vistage for 6 months as I grow my own group. And then I'll fly out this afternoon to Chicago where I get to speak for Northwestern Mutual. But as I got up this morning, I was thinking 2 weeks have already gone by. Now, I don't know if you guys see what I see, but for some reason, StreamYard yesterday and today is like a disco light to me. But then when I watched it, it didn't look like it. So anyway, it's a disco light. But 2 weeks have already gone by, and so many people have commented on these morning messages. And again, for me, they are cathartic. They remind me that I'm moving forward. They remind me how far we've come already. And they help me to stay connected with the community through social media that I love, that has supported and carried me a lot over the last 10, 12 years, but in particular the last 2 weeks. And so I want to say thank you. I get a lot of comments about talking about my feelings, and that's part of what I do for my work, is that we all have emotion, good emotion and bad emotion within us. And sometimes we're sad and sometimes we're excited and sometimes we're frustrated or angry or stressed or joy-filled or exuberant. And I've really learned in the last 15 years, for sure, 10, 5, even more, never to apologize for emotions, the good or the bad, and to express them. Now, I know that I make some people uncomfortable that are uncomfortable with emotions, but for me, being vulnerable and being authentic is an invitation for you to be vulnerable and authentic, and is also healing. Because I watch so many people hold their emotions in and act like they're okay when they're not, and then dive into severe anxiety or depression or isolation, or feeling like nobody really knows them or nobody really cares about them. Or if people really knew that they were sad or frustrated, they might not be their friend or be there for them. And that is true. Some people are so uncomfortable they won't be there for them. But we have heart disease in our family. Just lost a second sibling with heart disease, and many that have stress. And for me, it does harden your heart physically and emotionally to hold in that pain, to hold in that sadness and suffering. And so every day is a little better. I still don't really feel okay. I feel shook still, but I feel better every day. And I was thinking this morning, I'm hoping next week to get back to somewhat of a regular schedule with some focused work time at my desk, but also to find 1 or 2 days next week. There's a church just 4 blocks down, and they're have a tent up 8 to 8 every day at least. And they're just doing things. They're passing out things. They're going out and cleaning out houses, and to be in a good enough place, and hopefully my dogs be in a good enough place that I can go for a few hours, 1 or 2 days next week, and give back, whether that's serve a meal or help clean up or whatever the case may be. So I will continue to feel the feels and communicate the process. So I am in Minnesota, and Greg and I we got some progress with our auto insurance. So we're super grateful for that. My car wasn't worth much, but at least they gave us some money for it. And we have reached out to a few people starting the process to find a car to buy, to find a car to rent. We're so grateful for Lori letting us use her car for 2 weeks. I feel like I had something important I wanted to say today, but I can't remember what it was. Just that it's Wednesday. Oh, I know what I was going to say is that, so I think I've told a lot of people I was in a storeroom for 12 hours. That's not actually accurate, because my brain is still not very clear on what happened. But we had a laundry room where we bought our condo, and shortly after buying it, actually after buying it, but before we moved there, we had a remodeler take that washer and dryer for their family and friends, and we put a small stackable where our tub was and moved our tub out. And we made that room, our storeroom, our laundry room, into where we stored our bikes. So I think I've confused people on that. It was not a storage locker. It was a little room inside our condo that used to be the laundry room. And we had bikes in there and floaties and those things, and got all that out and just put cushions and blankets in there. And we went in there at 9:30 in the morning, Wednesday morning, 2 weeks ago, and we came out Thursday morning at 7:30 in the morning. So we were in there 22 hours with the dogs, scared and shaking, and we're grateful our building is moving forward and trying to get a structural engineer out there and make sure it's safe. I'm not sure it is safe. Somebody I saw yesterday posted it took 3.5 hours to go 1 mile on our beach because there's so much traffic and so many trucks. And so I'm just encouraging people, if you don't need to go, please don't go right now. It's not safe. It's not ideal. And it slows down the process of those that need to get cleaned out and that need to start the rebuilding process. Again, we're thinking we're going to stay in Florida, and we're looking for a place to rent for November, December, and ideally longer if needed. We know it's not a great time of the year. We're looking to stay in the southwest corner of Florida because then we can go back and forth to our home that we'll someday hopefully be able to move back into sooner than later. So we don't want to be too far away from that. And we just started to learn that area a little bit. Plus, that's where mail is and just things that we need to be close by. Yeah, I think that's it for today. I'm super grateful to be with my daughter. I'm super grateful to get to go to Vistage this morning and be in Jamie Nolan's group. I'm super grateful for her support and encouragement on this journey to build my Vistage group. I'm super grateful. My faith is very important to me, and I know many of you know that. But always when I feel anxious or feel scared or feel like I'm not enough or my speech won't be good enough, I remind myself, who am I and whose am I? And what I know about God's word and my relationship with God is God says I'm amazing. God says I can do all things with his strength. And he says that he has designed me in his image with a purpose for my life. And that feels amazing to me. And when I feel tired and sad and anxious or overwhelmed, I would try to remember that. And I know many of you, all good intended, say it's just things you've lost. It's just things. Well, first of all, we're not even positive what or if we've lost anything. At some point, we might get it all back. We don't know. They've got to check for mold and mildew and make sure the building's safe. But the water that came into our house, because we were there, we were able to clean up water and glass before we left. Doesn't mean we got all the dampness out, but Greg cut out some carpet and we did the best we could. And I know it's just things, but for someone who has gone through a fire and lost everything, for someone who's been homeless, for someone who's lived with very little and just out of a bag, it's not the things that makes me sad. It's the stability, it's the security of having a home to live in and to go home to. And so I know that I am blessed more than most. And I know that all will be restored, maybe differently, maybe better. And I know that my purpose and my message from this someday will offer hope and encouragement to others. And I know that I have more friends and community than most people will ever have in their life. And I am enormously grateful for that, because it doesn't feel like you're strangers through a screen. It feels like you're people who genuinely care about my story and my life and my work and my purpose, whether that's speaking or writing, or coaching or consulting or leading, or just sharing light every day and hope, because there's always hope. And I like to put on my yellow. Today I'm in blue, but I like to put on yellow and remind myself that even in the darkest of days, even in the hardest of moments, there's always, always hope. And when I look back from how far I've come to where I am, I have a vision to believe in where I'm going. And I just thank you all for your support. I thank you for when I say, hey, I need help with the car. Hey, I need help with the dog sitter. Hey, I need help with whatever it is I need help with, which I need a lot of help right now. And it's getting easier every day to ask for help, because I do feel like I've been blessed to be able to help a lot of people. And I love that people are stepping up and helping me. Yeah, I don't want to block your blessing, as James said. And I've known we are blessed to be a blessing, and it is joy for me to give. And I'm going to get back there and I'm going to be able to give. And right now I can give through my work and through my speaking and coaching this week. And hopefully next week I can start to help people that have been affected much worse than I with the hurricane, because we will have a home again. And Greg and I both can still work. And many people lost their family and their home and their work. And we didn't. We may have lost our car, and our place is unlivable at the moment. But I have such a community of love and support, and it means the world to me. So thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued encouragement. And thank you for allowing me and holding me with all that I feel in the sadness and the fear and the unknown, but also in the hope of a really bright future and of getting back to where I was or even better. Thank you. God bless you.